has you look at this. They will sell me 5 megabytes per second for $40.
Shit.
That's it.
That's it. That sucks.
Yeah, and if you want something like the likes of like 20 gig, like 20 megs or something,
Hmm.
that's $100, dude. 100 a month.
That sucks. That's like because X Infinity in my area of Comcast cable, Comcast isn't like the best, and I wish that they would allow like other cable companies, in to compete against for competitive prices. But the sad part is the states have to allow them to do business on those states. Like certain states, like they get regional rights to do so.
That's just fucking retarded, dude. Like, ah,
I just wish that I just wish that there was like alternative choices of businesses that we can use, like alternative like web services, cable companies. I wish they would do that, and phone companies as well. But you're getting like you get AT&T, you get that's the only choices you get.
and then here's the thing. I tell those guys, dude, in the U.S. you could get like 100. You could get like 100 megs for that much money. What the fuck are you people trying to pull?
Hmm. And they're also planning. I heard that Google's trying to do that fiber thing.
Oh, I actually have live on that. The brand thing. Well, it ends up they will give you a complete upgrade regarding your internet to
Yeah. I wish they would do it here because I know that Google's in Seattle, but they really need to.
the 5
Yeah, but they're testing it out in another state. Like they're currently testing it in California, um, Utah. Let's see what else. Certain parts of Texas. That's very much it. Like Salt Lake City, San Antonio, and people are
So
talking about fiber.
so basically the Southwest.
Yeah, but including I believe Phoenix, Oklahoma, Los Angeles, San Diego, Nashville, Huntsville, Charlottesville, Portland, San Jose, Tampa, Atlanta, Denver, Miami, Oakland. They're doing the fiber thing, and they're currently planning to install it in other states, but they're doing it in the big cities.
Ah, I get it.
Yeah. So I I wish they would do it in Washington, but they won't do it. But they're gonna probably do it in Seattle.
That's funny because Washington is like the one of the tech.
Tech
It's one of those
tech
tech.
cities.
Uh,
It's one of the
yeah.
tech cities, but it's also known for its alternative scene, which I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, and most people are talking about, oh, it can go 1,000 megabytes per second. It's super fast. And how much will it cost? Well, let's see. Let's see how much it costs because I would like to know what the Google Fiber is. Yeah, I'm getting really bad internet speeds here. Internet's really starting to torture me. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My internet sucks.
Wow, what it?
My internet
JC's
sucks.
got some awful internet. Wow.
Yes, my internet is very awful. I apologize for the internet.
Man, no, it's fine, man. Like I totally understand, especially back when I was disconnecting every half hour.
The struggle is
Oh god, that
real.
must have been awful.
The struggle is real with this internet. Let me see.
I have a feeling that Google's fiber will be somewhere around like around 100 gigs per
Well,
second.
I hope that when they install that whole service, it would compete against other companies because people are getting tired of because right now they're doing it in India, they're doing it in Canada. I heard they're doing it in the UK too, and it's like they want to. They're trying to tell everyone that oh this is gonna be the future and shit. Because I have a feeling they're gonna do that. They're gonna probably do Google TV as well. I think they're trying to expand their business. Okay, the expansion plans. Let me see what they're doing with their expansion because I'm curious how much it cost. Design, construction, sign up, installation. How much does it cost? What is a gigabit? Why does internet speeds matter?
Isn't that 1,000 bits? That's a kilobit.
Yeah. Yeah, what does
1,000 bits.
yeah,
1,000 megabits, which is 1,000 kilobits, which is 1,000.
which they claim is
It,
fast. Let me see. Is there any data caps on internet connection? No way. We want to use and enjoy the super fast internet. There's no caps or limits. That's good news right there. There's no caps for Google. Because a lot of, and I was hearing this on a radio show because the guy was like talking about Google Fiber, and I heard a lot of stuff about it. I just hope they install this as soon as because right now YouTube's having problems. Their business with YouTube is pretty much ruining their money.
what, Google?
Yeah,
Or
because Google owns
what?
YouTube.
This is this is barely touching Google. The whole adpocalypse thing, it's barely touching Google. People it's hurting the most are the YouTubers.
Yeah, it's because the advertisements
So
pulled out of there.
much money, and the ads are only being pulled off of YouTube. They're not being pulled off of the search engine.
That's true. And I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad because this really hurts the YouTube community. as a whole, because it, it's affecting a lot of YouTubers who are small, especially those who are trying to start out. And I don't blame anybody who is suffering from this. And even though advertising's really sort of sort of an issue with people concerned about this issue about anti-Semitism, racism, and free speech, I don't think they should take that out. I don't think they should take it out. It's not gonna because really, who's gonna listen to them? Maybe a few people. Heck, most people don't want to listen to me when I talk about the whole fucking Mass Effect issue. Because no one took my word when I mentioned about Mass Effect, and I stood by when I said that, hey, this was a problem, and no one listened.
Well, I wouldn't say that you're a prophet, but you are kind of a prophet.
Yeah, because I kind of mentioned, because I knew that they had problems when they released that game. People were complaining about the quality issue with that game, like the faces and everything, and the characters looks. A lot of people didn't like it, and I knew because I played Battlefield for a long time to notice that the characters didn't look right.
Wasn't there something about not being able to create white people on the new Andromeda?
Well, you gotta thank Manveer Air for that one. Well, you
Yeah.
can make a white person in that game, but the problem is the issue that I had with that game was you couldn't. I couldn't get Kanye West to. I couldn't get the look on Kanye West to look right because that because that they didn't have really good hairstyles to go with in that game. You had to get mods in order to get better hairstyles. And I even
So basically,
go ahead.
sorry. So so basically, the choices are not even good.
Yeah, because
Okay, yeah,
because
go
they
ahead.
have because they had like average looking characters. Like you couldn't really make like the best character ever. And right now, let me look at the Nexus community right now because I know they probably have. Let me look at the Mass Effect mods. Let me see if there's any mods for that community because I want to see if they actually do have mods. Okay, improve Sarah Ryder's face preset. Because there is a lot of mods that they should do in this. Like for the PC version, they should have cinematic realism lighting overthrow. Sarah Sarah Ryder's for blonde blondie tit Rider. What the heck is tit Rider? That's the mod. That's the mod that they have. Okay, so she has a bigger bust. Okay. Female preset made with head and face preset. Okay. Doesn't look right. Nah, doesn't look right. Let me see what they have. Prove lighting overhaul. Yeah, because I kind of agree that in Mass Effect they have to improve the lighting because a lot of the lighting doesn't look good in the game. And this guy actually made a mod for that.
That's what's going to happen. Is users are going to make mods that fix stuff by injecting DirectX overrides and things.
Yeah, because they have to realize this is the Frostbite engine, and sometimes the Frostbite engine is totally different than the Unreal Engine.
The weird thing is that they could introduce patches to the Frostbite engine to do what they need to do,
Hmm.
like the actual developers of the
Yeah,
game, but they would need the time and resources to do it. And from what we heard about Mass Effect Andromeda's development, that certainly didn't happen
it
there.
didn't it didn't do so well because I know for a fact that engine hasn't been updated. Let me see if they Frostbite engine. Let's see if they updated it. Let me see what versions they updated it for because I need to look up the main information about it from Wikipedia. Even though I don't like Wikipedia, they tend to do have sources of. Nope, they don't have it. They only have the Frostbite Engine 3. Frostbite Engine, marketed as simply as Frostbite from 2015, Onro's most recent iteration of Frostbite introduces new features such as the weathering system and physical base rendering, which is PBR. Real-time composition. It supports various development techniques such as photogeometry. The game's engine has several upgrades, including improved telestination. What is it? Telesillation. Oh, telesillation technology. Also features Destruction 4.0, which enhances the in-game destruction predecessors. The engine develops have not ruled out the feasibility of releasing mod tools. Okay, so they did. So they did have mod tools for the Frostbite engine. Some noteworthy achievements are the engine's Battlefield 4 Levolution system, which is made possible for wider and more detailed destruction. Several unnamed systems of FIFA 15, 17, which bring moving corner flags, more detailed spectators, changing the weather effects into the game. That's pretty much what they were focusing on was the environment.
What happens with a lot of these engines that are used over and over again for different games? Oh, actually, the Source engine is an excellent
Mhm.
example. Every time Valve comes out with a new game for the Source engine, they gain a few new features. In other games, and they'll actually benefits to other games. Does Sometimes the changes are completely useless. Like code if Portal, the code is only in the Portal version of the engine, and there's a few stupid switches you can flip to make like the Portal section of the config, the options menu be there, but it doesn't actually do anything unless you're running the Portal engine.
Yeah.
But most of the code that they do, like every time they make a code change, they try to port it to the central engine that everything uses. So that every future game that they develop will have access to all that code and all those things. So if Mass Effect Andromeda, for example, would have just had the resources to do good face design stuff, they could have run into issues that they had with the existing engine and made adjustments. They could have fixed the rendering anomalies and things, and the engine would have improved overall.
Yeah.
But instead, we saw what happened.
The biggest issue that I noticed was the posture of the backs. A lot of people kind of pointed that out in the Mass Effect game.
I think they did face scanning and 3D like some stuff, but then I saw something which talked about they had a system of priorities,
Mm-hmm.
and basically things that were very important or were very likely to be seen, like common or likely stuff, would get them things or less attention. Whether we touch up or fix it, they like manually fixed almost none of it. So it's all like raw. Some of it's algorithmic data, some of it's some face scanning data, but a lot of it's just math running on words and
Yeah,
things.
because
And
I
yeah, a game being that big, also you don't face scan a whole conversation unless it's a really important conversation.
kind of it was kind of simple. But
So Mass Effect Andromeda is ever gonna be uh, look good?
Um, the Frostbite engine's been around for since Battlefield Bad Company and Battlefield 19, 43. And their newest rendition to this game was the Frostbite Engine 3. I think they need to upgrade that engine.
Well, as I said, normally upgrades happen as you develop, but
Yeah, because I know
when you make the B
Dice,
team, make your game.
they need to get Dice. They need to really get Dice into. They need to pay Dice money. They need to make Dice research some more and improve on the engine itself, because they use that engine for almost for the Star Wars Battlefront game, and a lot of people wonder why is this engine being used so many times, because I know that EA owns the engine.
They try to make engines for everything. I mean, think about it. Try to use an engine for everything. As soon as you make nowadays, the only way.
I hate. I hate.
To survive. Hello.
I'm sorry.
To survive this day and age in the industry, you basically need, and be a company, you need to use one engine for everything and just keep that engine going.
They need to.
And
They
I'm
need
actually
to
kind of
improve
surprised
on
they
it.
haven't licensed, more of these companies haven't licensed their engine for use outside. Because Konami would have an alternate revenue stream if they licensed Fox Engine a lot.
Yeah.
Allspite was being licensed, would be another revenue stream. Like Unity and Unreal and CryEngine are out there.
Yeah.
Why are all these other engines not out there for indie developers to license and use?
I
don't get
kind
it.
of agree, because they haven't. They should license those engines for a lot of, because they could easily make a lot of money back from that, and I know EA should do that too, because even if it implement it, even if it's against their competition that's using their engine, I think they should allow people to borrow that engine and use it.
The big thing also about having indie developers and other companies being able to use your engine is that you gain a lot of QA just from all these people. Yes, you have to invest a little bit more money in your engine because more people are using it and making you have to make tools and stuff for it that you wouldn't have to make before that are actually like not going to crash every 5 minutes. Guys, how many in-house development tools suck ass?
Yeah.
And only run on like one specific configuration of computer.
Yeah.
But I don't get why they're not doing it. It's just such a smart business move to do, and yet they don't do it.
I know.
And then Unreal's gotten really smart. Unreal has required that if you make changes to their engine code, you have to release those changes to the engine code itself.
Mhm.
And they have full access to all of that because it's all done through their organization on GitHub. Like you have to, when you upload your code, you attach it to that organization, so they'd see it, and anyone in that org, anyone who's an Unreal 4 user, would see that. So they can just pull in all of these changes that everyone makes and fixes things and improves things, and just merge them into their central engine.
And
Evil geniuses, basically.
yeah, and I think they should. I think they should try to. I do agree with you on that point, because that could actually help EA, considering that they always lose money on certain things, and they're using that engine, and I think that they should improve on that engine, and I think they should have invested the money to actually have DICE fix that engine, because that engine's been around for years, and they should really improve on it a lot more.
It's something about programming in general. If you ever hear someone say all new code base, if they try to advertise saying an all new engine, a brand new engine that no one has used before, brand new software rebuilt from the ground up that no one's used before, run away very fast. Because the prior engine, even if it had all these issues, it also had bug fixes for that entire time. And the issue is sometimes you can't upgrade an engine. Sometimes you do hit a wall, and core fundamentals at the deepest level just can't be upgraded.
Okay.
Uh, Unfortunately, that's why new engines do come out sometimes that are not based on the original. But if you can get an older engine that's been used in like 5 games or more, you go for it because it's stable. Unless you've run into an issue where it's requiring technology that's now so out of date, it's hard to get it running on a computer. But yeah, that's just a soft programming principle there. The cutting edge stuff is not always the best. In fact, often it's buggy as shit.
Yeah, they probably should try to get that thing to work.
It's amazing though how it can turn like the fact that you've started from scratch into a marketing idea. Like, hey, it's built from the ground up. It's a run away.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Because they could easily get that machine. They could easily get it to work, and I can see what they wanted to do with this PC. With the market being what it is, they need to consider their options. Because I understand that they're trying to improve on the game, and they definitely need to improve on the fixes of Mass Effect. I just hope that because considering that they're actually listening to the feedback, and it's sad that they had to close down their forum site in order to do it just to save money, and they're listening to on Reddit. I just hope that they can fix the frame rate issues in that game, because I've been encountering that a few times in the game, especially when you're in that little rover machine that you're driving around, and then suddenly it freeze frame, and then you're driving it again. Like it's dipping a lot. Like they definitely need to fix those issues with that game, because that game's has a lot of issues.
I wonder how many of the frame rate issues and things are tied to the fact that a lot of graphics programming in games is cheating. Like they program the graphics and they don't program it technically properly, and then the video card developer gets their hands on the game and they see how the game is using the graphics card, and then they program a special driver called a game ready driver, which intercepts detects that it's that game, and modifies the calls coming in from the game to actually use the damn video card properly. That is a real thing. That is what game ready drivers are, and that's the NVIDIA term. There's a different term for AMD ATI, but it's the same thing. That's also why games run like shit when they come out with a badge on it for a certain video card. That means that company had their hands on that game before it was released. And then the other company has to scramble to get their hands on the game and test it and figure out what stupid shit the game is doing, and then write a fix for it.
That's like the Batman game. NVIDIA.
Yeah, that's a good example. Except they even screwed up using their own NVIDIA stuff.
Yeah.
But then the interesting thing with like what would happen if they use like tress effects or hair effects, which are competing things. Once the other video card ends on it, they could probably write some code to make that not. And also, the funny thing is, if a game really wanted to work for everything, it would implement both tress effects and hair effects for the hair. Mm-hmm. It would just do both, and then it would make the game use the one that's appropriate for the card or the effect. Your money, because when you add that little badge from a specific video card manufacturer in your game, that means that manufacturer paid you money from technology in your game that they can have their hands on your game before you release, so they could make sure it would play well with their card.
Especially when I found out NVIDIA had that Mass Effect Special Edition game code where you can actually download the game.
Oh, that's another big one. Yeah, OEM copies, those are called.
Yeah.
Because they get packed either with hardware or with computers or what have you. This has been going on for a very long time too. Like during the DOS days, it was more a case of all the hardware was different and there was no standardization. So you'd have Sound Blaster, Sound Lib, all those other different things.
And it comes with a game.
Yeah,
I remembered that
but
one.
yeah, they did that some too. Like I think there was some MIDI synthesizer where they got a contract with the game developer, and that developer made sure they made that MIDI synthesizer an option in all the games, even though nothing else used it. And of course, once we got to modern PCs, which are a bit smarter, you started seeing Zone 2
Yeah.
option called Pentium 3 optimizations. That's what it is.
Yeah.
On turn it on, and you have a Pentium uses all these extra special instructions.
Hmm.
These reason makes pink and light blue, and we don't know why. That's more of a modern issue. They didn't used to do that,
Yep.
but yeah, it's all money. Everything's always money. It's always get it's developers can't write for graphics card properly or write for graphics drivers properly, so the companies cheat, get their hands on it, and make it work better
Yeah.
with their card at launch.
Yeah, because
And
they always try to say, "Hey, get it Nvidia." No, get this card, and it's like, get this card and you'll get this game. Get this card and you'll.
yep, yep. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, they make sometimes the contracts go so far as to actually pack the game in with the darn video cards. Yep,
Yep. I remember Dirt
it's
3.
crazy.
I know that Nvidia tried to promote Dirt 3, and you get the free code for that game, and it was pretty much what they were doing with I think with Radeon graphics cards as well.
They're all all the hardware is basically fighting to get games on their side, so that they can sell more hardware.
Yeah, so they can sell more hardware and also the software too, because they actually are making the software for the hardware. I gotta.
Yep. Speaking of Dirt 3, there is an issue that they don't tell you much about, and that is the fact that some of them, not only when they will not run, but some copies have been known to have sound issues.
Yep, that's true.
And what happened was, let's see if I can find this thing real quick. Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that random silence. I was ranting at someone in text.
It ends up that instead of using, you know what they did when it came to sound? They used Ratchet 3D as well as OpenAL.
Hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's see if I
Huh.
can find
Yeah, OpenAL is a standard audio. I think it's Open Audio Library. I think that's what that might stand for. But hey, I had not heard of that. Uh, it's like Raptor for audio.
Yeah, I probably have it.
No, look, and some company has already written an adapter that they're selling that allows you to use Rapture 3D with OpenAL games.
Yeah, the thing is, instead of using basic DirectX audio library, they had to use Ratchet 3D.
OpenAL is not bad. I've seen a lot of indie games that have used that. Yeah, there's of Wizard SDK libraries out there that you never really hear about. It's very popular for audio. Sound, you would use Direct Sound, but the problem is that once you got to Windows 7, maybe even Windows Vista, they fucked up Direct Sound. In XP with Direct Sound, I remember having a game and it had like I think it was like 128 audio channels or something. It could play 128 different sounds simultaneously, and it had 3D sound and stuff. Like if you had more speakers set up around you and you moved around, the noise was in the right place. I moved to 7 with the same game, and then I only had 8 audio channels, and 3D sound doesn't work.
I used to remember back.
And I also don't get, I don't get Doppler effects when I move quickly towards the sound source anymore either. And it's all because direct sound, which is the old that old suite of direct libraries like DirectX, Direct Sound, Direct Input, all of those have been out and minimized their old. They have uh, C and up controller interface that replaced an AL or whatever this other one I already forgot the name of was.
Mm-hmm. I used to remember I bought a sound card. I used to remember buying a sound card, and I didn't realize back in the early '90s, I didn't realize that you can load up faster.
You are doing some very odd audio lag things.
Oh, really? That bad? Oh man, I really got to fix this thing. At yahoo.com.
There was a delay. There was a delay, and then various pieces of what you said were all stuck together. So, like, you would start to say one word, and then it would cut to a different word, and then it would cut to, like, 2 sentences later.
Oh my god, I think it's my bottleneck speeds of internet and my PC.
They'll say JT's becoming Tracer now.
I'm becoming a machine. I'm becoming a robot with an internet problem.
I don't know. It's less akin to time travel, I guess, and more akin to just frequent small blackouts.
Yeah, it could be that. It's just I'm using bottleneck speeds.
But yeah, I say definitely see if your neighbors are having the same types of internet problems you are. Have them out and look at the poles, the splitters on the poles.
I'll probably tell my family about it because that internet's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is also possible. I've seen issues where water runs down wires and into houses and screws up the splitters in the houses. But if more than one house is having the same problem, it's the pole. Because like out here when we had issues, they had a splitter on it. They had one connected, and then we got connected, so they have a splitter on it to connect to. Third person wants to connect here, so then they had to come out and they had to take the splitter out and put in a splitter for 3. They don't, at least Time Warner Cable doesn't put in splitters that have any open ports. So on the pole splitters. So whenever someone needs to connect a brand new connection, they need to come out, take the splitter out, and put in a slightly bigger one.
Yeah, because I know they have to boost the signal with the splitters. And I remember.
Oh yeah, that's another one, signal boosters.